Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. This weekend in America, we celebrate love. In Judaism, we celebrate love all the time. This weekend in particular, though, we called it a We Love Shabbat. Boy, did we need Shabbat this week. Some of the things that we're going to be doing this Shabbat is also not just focusing on love, but focusing on joy and happiness. And some things are going to be all combined into one. Some kids are going to be getting snow days possibly this week, which is a very surprising thing, and they're going to love it, and it's going to make them happy. So if you're thinking about coming into the office next week, please call first, because there may be days when we will be opening at different hours or closed altogether because of the weather. Stay safe. If you need help, please contact people from B'nai Zion. We can help. We are also celebrating still people with birthdays and anniversaries in February, so don't be surprised if you see some interesting new faces to help us celebrate. So that's another thing, celebrating the fact that today is the beginning of the month of Adar. Adar is the last month on the Jewish calendar, and it is also the happiest month. The saying is that when Adar enters, joy enters. So I hope you are getting ready for a month of joy. I know I am, because my birthday is in Adar. It's going to be this Tuesday this year, in fact. Don't tell, but I am taking a staycation this week. Shh. I needed this. And I wanted to remind you, though, that with all of the things that are going on in the world, in our lives, all the people that we love and we're taking time to love and show our love to, all the ways we're being joyful, we still deserve a day of joy, a day of happiness, a Shabbat, where we get to leave our troubles outside. So get ready, take a deep breath, let the troubles out. Let them out. Inhale joy. Exhale troubles. Get ready for a joyful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, I'm Arden Brainus. Mazel tov to everyone with birthdays and anniversaries this month. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. I can't wait to be in person with everyone again soon at Temple. Shabbat Shalom.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Let there be joy, let there be light, let there be peace, let there be Shabbat. The seventh day is consecrated to the eternal God. With wine, our symbol of joy, we celebrate this day and its holiness. We give thanks for all our blessings, for life and health, for work and rest, for home and love and friendship. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavahu v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, נקבלה. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach.
Hi, I'm Julie. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel tov to everyone having a birthday or an anniversary this month. The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel, born of our longing for the living God. It has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast, it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace. Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people. Its God is a God of all people. And it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life.
Many are the generations of Israel, and in every age we have sought the living God through Sabbath rest and worship. This time and place hold the power to increase our joy in the eternal. O God, even as we seek you in the home sanctuary, help us to know that your glory fills all space. Make us understand that you are with us at all times, if we but open our minds to you. We feel the presence of your Spirit in our homes and on our ways. We see the beauty of your creation in mountain, sea, and sky, and in the human form. We hear you in the silence of our own hearts, speaking the truths the heart knows. May we be your witness to the world. your messenger to all the earth. May we show forth your image within us, the divine spark that makes us human. Yitgadal v'yitkadash meraba, be'alma divrach iruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayed chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imiru. Amen. Yehe shmeh rabba mevarach la'alam ul'alme almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpahar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmeh dekudisha brichu le'lamin kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imiru. Amen. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
As day departs, as the dark of night descends, we lift our eyes to the heavens. In awe and wonder, our hearts cry out, Eternal God, how majestic is your name in all the earth. A vast universe. Who can know it? What mind can fathom it? We look out to the endless suns and ask, what are we? What are our dreams and our hopes? What are we that you are mindful of us? What are we that you should care for us? And yet, within us abides a measure of your spirit. You are remote, but oh, how near, ordering the stars in the vast solitudes of the dark, yet whispering in our minds that you are closer than the air we breathe. For you have made us little less than divine and crowned us with glory and honor. With love and awe, we turn to you, and in the dark of the evening, we seek the light of your presence.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvelechtecha v'derech uveshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchetavtam al mezuzot betecha uvish'arecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet. You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness, a world waiting still to be redeemed, give us, O source of good, the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From Egypt, the house of bondage, we were delivered. At Sinai, amid peals of thunder, we bound ourselves to your purpose. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, we survived oppression and exile, time and again overcoming the forces that would have destroyed us. Our failings are many. Our faults are great. Yet it has been our glory to bear witness to our God and to keep alive in the dark ages the vision of a world redeemed. May this vision never fade. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we sing with one accord, as Moses, Miriam, and Israel sang at the shores of the sea.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 יא לה 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 לה.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up to find our hearts waiting to do your will. We praise you, Guardian of Israel, whose love gives light to all the world. O God of Israel, may our worship on this day help us to grow in loyalty to our covenant with you and to the way of life it demands, the way of gentleness and justice, the path of truth and peace. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Koneh Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. God of Israel, you are the hope of all the generations, the ones that are past and those yet to be. You are our God. You are the first. You are the last. You are the only one. You made the earth and brought us forth to dwell in it. You called Abraham and Sarah to your service, their children to bear witness to your glory. You formed us to be a covenant people, enduring as the stars in heaven. Eternal God, you are the shield of our people, our everlasting light. Your strength is with us always, O God. Your compassion does not fail. Winter winds are your messengers, summer dew, a sign of your grace. You reach out to the fallen and comfort the afflicted. You give heart to the captive and breathe hope into those who lie in the dust. Praise be the one whose breath is our life. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God.
Ritzeh, Ritzeh, Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael. ותפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהי לרצון תמיד, ותהי לרצון תמיד, עבודת ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה Adonai, she'otech levadecha, b'yira na'avod, she'otech levadecha, b'yira na'avod. You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, and pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Eternal source of good, we give thanks for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Teach us, God of wonders, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom.
Shalom Rab. Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon L'kol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon L'kol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim L'olam. Tasim L'olam. Tasim L'olam.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. It is now time for us to say the prayers that are in our hearts and listen to the still small voice that answers. You may read the prayer that is on the screen or whatever your heart prompts. Yihiu leratzon.
May the words of my mouth
Imre fi vehegyon libi.
and the meditations of my heart
Lefanecha.
be acceptable to you.
Lefanecha.
Be acceptable to you.
Adonai Tzuri.
God, my rock,
Tzuri v'gohali.
my rock and my redeemer.
Adonai Tzuri.
God, my rock,
v'gohali.
and redeemer.
This is a wonderful time to begin a new month, because when Adar enters the world, then joy enters the world. The new month of Adar began today, Friday, and Shabbat, which began this evening when we started our service. So we're just going to talk about it beginning today, since that will cover both this month. And anyway, I'm feeling good about it. It's Adar after all. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, shetechadesh alenu et hachodesh hazeh, l'tova v'livracha, v'titen lanu chayim. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us renewed good and blessing and joy. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, and health, a life full of blessing, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Wondrous God, in ancient days you led our people from bondage to freedom. Redeem us now out of our exile from one another, making all Israel one united people. Rosh Chodesh Adar hu hayom. The new month of Adar begins today. God of holiness, let the new month bring for us and for the whole house of Israel life and peace, happiness and joy, deliverance and comfort, and let us say, Amen. Our hearts and our prayers now turn to all who are ill, recuperating, dealing with consequences of confinement, or coping with the recent death of loved ones. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. El na refa na lahem. God, please heal, please them. El na refa na lahem. God, please heal, please them. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. It has become our tradition to also bless and honor those who are our first responders, our heroes. On behalf of our military, police, firefighters, EMTs, doctors, nurses, and veterans, our frontline people, we say, Misheberach avotenu ve'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom, protecting us, or healing us, in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely. Let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. This weekend, as we mentioned, we're going to be talking about love, loving Shabbat. In the Torah, I don't know if you knew this, but we are commanded to love. we are commanded to love 3 times and 4 things. It seems strange to be commanded to love because love for most of us feels more like an emotion than something that you can command. But if you see the examples that are given in the Torah of things that we are commanded to love, I think you'll understand the best ways of loving, as taught to us in Torah. So it tells us that we are supposed to ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, that you're supposed to love Adonai, your God. And we know that prayer very well about all the ways we're supposed to love God. It also says that you're supposed to love the stranger because we were strangers in the land of Egypt. And then it says, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, that you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. So that's 3 times when we're commanded to love, but 4 things we're commanded to love. I don't know if you noticed in that last one, love your neighbor as you love yourself, which obviously also means we are commanded to love ourselves. And I think that's awesome. And I want to point out that the way we're taught to love and the way that it can possibly be a commandment is that love in Jewish tradition is about action. It's the way that we act to each other, to God, and to ourselves. How we take care of each other, how we take care of ourselves, and the ways that we show God that we love God. The ways we show God we love God is the ways that we act, that we study, that we teach, that we take care of other people. The ways that we show each other that we love each other, especially when it's 2 of those commandments, that we love our neighbor as ourselves and we love the stranger because we remembered what it was like to be strangers. So those are actions that I think are especially important all the time, something that we're always aware of. It reminds us of the commandment about Sadaqah, which some of us think of as charity. And when we think of it as charity, we know that as Jews, we are obligated to take care of people who are less fortunate than us. And that means that no matter how unfortunate our lives are right now, we need to take care of someone whose life is less fortunate than us. And we are obligated to do that. And as Jews, we do have a tendency to fulfill that commandment. Even when we ignore other ones, we do that one. We like to take care of other people. We feel very much obligated in our hearts. We often think of tzedakah as charity and money, so we think of it as a poverty situation. This month, February, on the American calendar, is also Jewish Disability Awareness Month. And when we think of disabilities, we often think of the non-able-bodied people. So we think about ways of taking care of people who are blind, or people who have to have wheelchairs or walkers to be able to walk, or people who can't hear well, or we don't always think about this, but we need to be thinking about people with not just physical health problems, but mental health problems, or people with physical health problems you can't see, like my CRPS, and other people with various pain problems that you don't always see, but they're always there. And it's our obligation to always think about them, but February is Jewish Disabilities Awareness Month. And so I wanted to remind us that since we know how to take care of people, since we know about tzedakah and how to take care of people who are poorer than us, we need to take that information and see how to take care of people who have a variety of kinds of disabilities. And one of the disabilities we don't always think about, that I mentioned before, is poverty. Often, throughout American history at least, people who had less money were not, and you may not realize this, but we're not as welcome as others into the sanctuary. If you didn't have the kind of clothes everybody else was wearing to dress up for Shabbat, you were not as welcome. People would look at you and would avoid you, would, talk about you. That's horrible. We can't do that to people. That's not the way we're supposed to judge people. As we are taught throughout Jewish history, it means that we are judging their clothes. We're not judging the person. And that's just not appropriate. We need to see the divine that's in each person. And I think that's a common thread for the way we treat people who have disabilities, or anyone, how we show love. So we're obligated to love each other. How do we take care of each other? At B'nai Zion, we went through a major renovation a few years ago, made sure that people with wheelchairs or walkers had plenty of ways of accessing the building, the rooms, the bathrooms, and we were very good at that. I think that we tried very hard to make sure that people with hearing problems should be able to hear anywhere in the building. We're always conscientious about that, even on our streams and our recordings, so that hopefully if you need to hear, you have better ways of hearing things. We have some things in place for people who are vision impaired, but if there are things that you need and you know someone who's vision impaired who needs more than what we're doing, let us know, because we are committed to trying to help people. One of the things that I don't know that this is officially a disability, but it made me think about how we love our neighbors as ourselves, is that one of the complaints, I'm going to say, about B'nai Zion that hurts my heart every time I hear it is when someone feels that B'nai Zion is not a welcoming community, when they feel like they come to services and people don't welcome them. I know that you're going to say, well, how are we supposed to do that when we're online? But I can tell you that we are doing it even online. If you come to our Saturday morning services, which are on Zoom, you will find a lovely variety of people and everyone feels welcome. And I always thought that B'nai Zion is a welcoming community. So I thought about this a lot because it hurts my heart. And I realized that everyone who has said that to me is someone who has a space of loneliness already in their hearts. And sometimes, and I say that's not specifically a disability, but I think you'll find that a lot of disabilities aren't disabilities either, that people can get past them. They can find other ways of coping. So I don't mean to make it sound like it's something that makes them not be able to function in the world. But often it's people who are shy already find it difficult in situations if they say, well, if I come to synagogue, then I will find people who will talk to me. But often you'll find that you've got to talk to people in order for people to talk to you, which to me means I've got to go out and find the people to talk to, that someone is probably waiting to have someone talk to them. So that ties back in again to how do we love our neighbor as ourselves generally? What are we doing now to show that we love each other? One of the things that we're suffering from right now is this pandemic. And how are we going to do all of these things? How are we going to celebrate this weekend of love if we're still isolated from each other and it may not be safe for us to be with each other? Especially when they say that even after we've had our second shots, we still need to be wearing masks when we're with people who are not in our bubble. How are we supposed to do that? And so one way, which is a little bit heartbreaker for a Jewish mother, is maybe get together with people and not eat, because if we can keep our masks on, we're already safer. And one of the ways that is obvious in our days to love your neighbor as yourself is wear your mask. If you put your mask on, then you're protecting yourself and everyone around you. There's nobody else in my room right now, so I've taken it off so that I can talk to you. But whenever I'm with other people, I'm wearing my mask. And so that's an obvious way to take care of each other. You're loving yourself, you're loving each other. So I think that we need to be taking care of everyone, be aware of disabilities. If you think of ways that we need to be dealing with people who are have any kind of disabilities, let me know, because we are very committed to making sure that everybody feels welcome. And that includes, as I said, physical disabilities, but sometimes it's other ways that make people feel that they don't belong, that they shouldn't be coming in for some reason. And I don't want anyone to feel like they couldn't or shouldn't. One of the things I want to remind you of is, especially since we're alone, and I remind you this a lot, but I want to try it maybe in a new way. Phone calls right now are so important. I know a lot of people, Jewish mothers included, who feel like, well, if they loved me, they would show it by calling. Anybody you know fit into that category? I'm going to say that even those people know someone who needs a phone call. It's really important that if you feel like you deserve a phone call, you make some calls. You call other people. I can't tell you how important that is. Don't just sit around waiting for a phone call. Don't just sit around waiting for a conversation. Please find at least one person to reach out to who can use your call. And it could be someone, it doesn't matter who it is. Call someone, text someone, Zoom with someone. Please try to reach out to other people. That's my message. It doesn't change. It's always the same. I say it because I love you. I say it because I love the stranger and I love the neighbor as myself. And it's because I love God, and God commands us to be holy, and that's what God does, reaches out. People aren't always listening, but God is always reaching. I know that sounds, I think you know what I mean, and I think it's true. So try it, and know that I love you, and know that I want you to be happy. And I love that we have a reboot today about happiness, because we've entered the month of Adar. And that means Purim is coming soon. It means Passover is coming in just over a month from now. So I hope that you're starting to think about what we're doing for Passover this year. I know I started. But I want you to start to be happy. Just be happy. Smile more. Laugh more. Even if you're by yourself, just smile and laugh more. And have a happy day. Have a wonderful, happy, joyous Shabbat. And know that I love you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Due to technical difficulties that we did not anticipate, Kathy is not giving the announcements today, and she has let me do this. She wanted me to let you know that there's a good possibility that our building will be closed on Monday because of all of the snow that we anticipate. This is a picture from a few years ago. As of now, actually, they're expecting way more snow than what you see in this picture. But it was pretty, so I decided to use these pictures. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us for our B'nai Zion Shabbat service online. You are welcome to participate in any of our other events. Almost everything right now is online. We're not gathering in person. So please go to b'naizioncongregation.org for details about the services, the learning opportunities, other programs, and more. We hope to see you there. We made a lot of new friends that way, by coming online. There were donations for the flowers in loving memory of Ray Marks Gilbert by Ruthie Neerman and family. In loving memory of Janice C. Kent by Sidney Kent and family. In loving memory of Jean Van Oss by Herman Van Oss and family. Each week after the flowers are used for our Shabbat services on Friday night and Saturday, the Sisterhood delivers them to someone special. Please remember that the deadline to submit donations for flowers is 2 p.m. Wednesday of the week you would like it to be read. Donations can easily be made online or by mailing or calling into the office. This week, if you are thinking about doing anything for the office, please call ahead because we may need to be closed. Anyway, hope you have a Shabbat Shalom and you stay happy.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You spread out the heavens and establish the earth. You are our God, there is none else. In truth, you alone are our sovereign God, as it is written. Know then this day and take it to heart. The Eternal One is God in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is none else. Eternal God, we face the morrow with hope made stronger by the vision of your deliverance. A world where poverty and war are banished, where injustice and hate are gone. Teach us more and more to respond to the pain of others, to heed your call for justice, that we may bring nearer the day when all the world shall be one. On that day, the age-old dream shall come true. On that day, O God, you shall be one, and your name shall be one. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We honor the memories of those who died this year in the military, police, firefighters, healthcare, and we add supermarkets and restaurants and everyone who has been our first responders. We honor the memories of those who died in floods and fires and those who died of COVID-19. To lose one life is as if we've lost an entire world. May we not lose sight of the enormity of the loss of so many individual lives. We honor the memories of these people who died this year. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. It is hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of who we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives most fully, even in the shadow of our loss, for each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone and every life finds purpose. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We remember those for whom we are still in the Shloshim period, who died in the past 30 days. We remember George Rothkopf, Paul Aaron, and J. Bach Lehman. We remember parents who died this past year. We remember Tommy Crowder, Sophie Lipo, Robert Talbert, Joseph Paris, Artis Robison. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortzites this past week include Samuel Abramson, John B. Cheatham III, Ray Marks Gilbert, Isidore L. Goldman, Irene Hermer, Janice C. Kent, Francis Rubin Kreisman, Philip Ben Lieber, Dr. Howard Marcus, Pauline Morris, Louis Matloff, Bessie F. Murov, Bertha Davis Ox, Doris Muslow Pallet, Ben R. E. Phelps, Jr., Lillian Pearlstein Selber, Fred Simon, Meyer Nathan Stadium, and Jean Van Oss. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe shemeh rabba mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemeh d'kudsha barich hu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen.
Ein Eloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Malkeinu, Ein Moshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Malkeinu, Mich Moshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
It is truly a blessing for us to be worshiping together, even if we're separate. We're getting good at this business of having to be separate, but feeling like we're together. I look forward to a day when we're actually potentially in the same room, but even when we're not, and for those of you who may never be able to be in the same room together with us, I'm glad we're here worshiping together. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you, be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you, because we know God has something that God looks up to you about. And may God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom.